Welcome to Art is Essential, the Gavilan television show about the importance of art in our lives. I'm Fran Lozano, Dean of Liberal Arts and Sciences at Gavilan College, and your host today. Each of our shows features a local artist or artists working in a different medium. Today we're featuring the final projects from Grant Richards Film Class Humanities 3. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the films.
I'm Stefan Sandu, and I directed, wrote, and all that such. Less Than 3, the documentary Seasons of Change. My friend's Jonathan Borgia, and he does his own music. And he's going to the studio, and he asked me to film for him behind the scenes and all that stuff, so we can put like a YouTube video up. And then I decided to take all the footage that I took and like take it out of context, and like what if we put scripted lines and such in between, and saw like pulling things out of context. It was actually really boring in the studio, like super boring, and I just wanted to like mess around with it, so I edited it a little bit and pulled things out of context.
A lot of work went into pre-production for Seasons Change, so I was definitely anxious to get in the studio and start making some headway on the final project. Whenever you're heading in for a big project, it's always important to have a good positive vibe in the room. Whether we're recording, playing a show, writing, it's impossible to get any good kind of creative flow if there's any tension in the room. So that's why I called up my good old friend Ryan to come in and lay down some drum tracks.
Oh, great. I was definitely surprised when I saw Jonathan pop on my phone. I didn't talk to him in years. We were in a band though back in the day, but there was some bad blood between us and some of the guys, so we decided to split. We got along for the most part, but...
Yeah, I don't really know these guys too well, but I do know they've butted heads in the past. For the most part, it seems to run pretty smooth, but sometimes things get a little awkward given their history.
Half the time he's just being sarcastic.
So I was thinking for the effects on these drums, we'll just erase them and put in a bunch of electronic drums.
The other half seems like he's just speaking a completely different language. Like when I'm on the drums, he talks to me like I'm a 5-year-old.
Digga, 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 digga. After you do that, boom. It's like...
I've been playing drums for 10 years. I just feel like my talent's going a little unappreciated.
Boom. Saying ayo. You know what I'm talking about? So if you just played along a little bit before that, will we just be able to mix them together?
Yeah, we can do that.
Alright.
Well, let's hear this take real quick.
To me, drums are probably the most intimidating part of the recording process. Usually takes about 2 hours to set up, and then after that, you're going to be tracking for another 7 or 8 hours. And then the majority of your mixing time goes to the drums as well. So because they're so important, I usually like to take them out first.
I just asked if I can go first so I can get the hell out of here.
I don't really know if Jonathan takes this whole music thing seriously. I mean, I know he writes the music, but for the most part, it seems like he's just sitting around playing on his phone the whole time.
After all of this, Jonathan doesn't even try to understand me. After all these years, it's just bullshit.
I'm just really grateful and blessed to have such great people to work with. I mean, all the hard work, the dedication, all in this creative mix of people is just awesome.
Let's give it another go.
Once we've got a good foundation with the drums, guitar and bass are next on the list.
Getting the right guitar and bass tone is totally critical to getting your CD to sound the best that it can. A lot of people don't realize how much we go through as far as mic placement and tweaking and all the little tricks we do to try and get them to sound perfect. But in the end, that makes all the difference between a home demo and a polished professional record.
It's kind of hard to get in a good groove with the guitar mix if you go back the next day and realize that your drummer was just kind of goofing around.
Okay, I think it's fine then.
Way to go, Ryan.
Way to go. You suck.
Really?
Luckily, God knew that he couldn't trust the task of frontman with the drummers, and so that's why he created me to pick up their slack.
Oh my gosh.
Really?
Yeah, sometimes it's kind of hard to work with Jonathan. He's kind of hard to read, actually, and it's weird. He keeps doing these, what does he call them?
Meditative regroups.
When it comes down to it, as much as I don't necessarily like Jonathan, he's an okay musician. But Ben, he's kind of a dick.
Here you go. Don't mess it up now.
Am I the only one that feels that way?
I really like working with Ben because he has that attitude where any take can always be better.
Let's try it. Do it.
No matter how many times Jonathan does a take, it never gets any better.
We took all the footage of tuning. Could make a full-length feature film out of it.
I don't know. I guess after working with each other for so many years, it's kind of inevitable that they would kind of rub off on each other.
That sounds like it has plenty of bass in it, right?
Yeah.
Because I brought it down a little bit. It was a little bit ludicrous.
Like the black guy?
That guitar mix sounds good. What was that? The guitar mix sounds good.
Thanks. Thanks, I did all of it.
Not even for a minute.
By day 7, we're on the home stretch. I'm just trying to get my vocals done and get out of there.
I generally prefer to work with more experienced bands. With the younger, newer bands, they usually are just more unfocused and they don't really prepare before they come in the studio.
After you've gone to the studio for as many years as I have, you start to get the hang of the process. You know what to expect, and so you end up going in better prepared.
I just don't know how he managed to stay in the new band phase for so long.
You know I do what I do.
But seeing as I'm stuck here for 6 to 8 hours a day, I do try to make these sessions a little more worth my while.
Ben definitely has a unique take on the production aspect of my music.
Can you like sing that same thing in like a head voice or like just change your tone a little bit? Read my mind. It's exactly what I want.
Sometimes the only way to get a good final cut is to get a little critical. And luckily, that's one of Ben's strong points.
Because, ooh. Can you do the choruses first?
The choruses first?
So come on, kick your heels 3 times. We may be scared or heartless, or maybe we just lost our minds.
What did I take away from this whole experience? The money.
Yeah, it's definitely just the money.
Yeah, no, yeah, I did some recording too, and you know, I wanted to be a part of it. That's why I put in these hours and I drove there, and I just want to be a part.
By the end of that week, I'm pretty exhausted. I mean, pulling 6, 7, even 8-hour days, it really wipes you out. But it makes it all worth it when that next week you just go, you pick up your final mix, you pop it in the car, and you just get to hear that result of all the work that you did. It really makes it all worth it to me, especially when you get to look back and see that all that hard work that you did, you got to do with some of your best friends.
My name is Jessica Fox Elbenhowie, and the name of my film is Why Hollister Occupies. I was a part of Occupy Hollister from its inception, and I felt like it was something that's being ignored. The small town activism is being ignored, and so it was really important to me that that be highlighted in some way. So. Well, I've always felt really strongly since the beginning of the Occupy movement that this is something that's important, that this is going to bring in real social change, and so it's important to me that we document it, and since the mainstream media isn't making an effort to do that, we need to do it ourselves. So.
My name is Paul Ramirez. I'm from Texas, southern Texas, and I'm traveling right now all across the country, and every time I hear about one of these things, I have to show up. But I got my tent out here today, and we're very, we don't know what else to do. We really don't know what to do. The times are not good, and people have been very unfair, and so here we are. And we just ask that you might be kind to us and try to understand and join us, please. Thank you.
So my name is Tony Notar, and the reason I'm here is because I am getting very nervous about losing my house and everything that's been going on with banks and financial institutions, and because I'm really tired of money running our political system. Over the last 4 years, my husband and I have taken over 25% pay cuts, and yet college tuition for our 3 children has gone up over 70%. There is no more savings left, even though we originally thought we had everybody covered. With the mess that's gone on, so what's next? My house, and that's what I'm concerned about. I tried to get the bank to talk to me, and they refused because I'm current. So if you're current on your loan, they're not going to play with you, I guess. Yeah. Something has to change, and if that means that we take money out of politics, which it doesn't belong in there to begin with, then maybe that's what we need to do.
My name's Robin Pollard. I live in Hollister, California, and I'm out here today to say that I am one of the 91% who disapproves of Congress. They've got way too many perks, way too many benefits, and they are not representing us. They are representing themselves. And until we get those perks taken away and we have people that step up and want to support our nation so that they can, if they're doing it out of the goodness of their heart, not for their own personal financial gain. And I am here protesting because if we don't speak up, we just get rolled over.
My name is Jerry Lewis, and I came out here to represent the people that I believe that have been taken advantage of during the foreclosures throughout our country. I believe that millions of people have lost their homes. In good faith, they signed their loans, and then those loans were foreclosed on after we started having a crisis in this country, and I'd like to see that turned around and changed. I'd like to see a balance and a fair loan system in our country that we have currently lost. And I would also like to see the government be willing to be honest with the American people and straighten out some of the things that they've put us into right now as far as debt, other crises, wars that we shouldn't have been involved in, different things like that. But the reason I'm out here is I believe that there is a lot of corruption in our government. We are not being represented fairly, honestly, and that's why I'm standing out here today.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Bagley. Part of the reason that I am down here on this corner every Thursday afternoon is, well, initially it was because I wanted a dialogue in our small town that was so adversely impacted by the recession, and I thought it was important to show everybody that we have a voice as a small town. There might not be many of us, but every single person helps and amplifies the message of the 99%. But I got involved originally with, being politically active and doing this because I want to show my children. I want to work for my children. I want to show them that it's possible to have a voice in our democracy, that it's imperative that they use their voice in this democracy. And I wanted to work for their future. I mean, this is really what the message of the 99% is about. We're losing traction. The 99% has lost power within the system of corporate and government. And it's not working. My kids will probably end up going to college and having to mortgage the rest of their futures for it. And that's unacceptable to me. So that's why I'm here. That's why I protest every week, and I am going to keep protesting until something changes.
Hi, my name is Joe Navarro. I'm a retired teacher, and I've been participating in the Occupy Hollister protests that we've been having here because on one level, I'm against the wealthiest people of this nation controlling all the wealth but not paying their fair share of taxes. I think that we've been facing an economic crisis, and it's been affecting people on many levels, losing their homes, losing their jobs. The employment is really bad. The money that was given to bail out the banks and the corporations was supposed to help the economy by stimulating jobs. They got the money, but they never created jobs, which is creating a worse crisis for people who are unemployed and unable to pay their bills. I was attracted to this because of the people who've been losing their homes as a result of being tricked into taking loans that they couldn't afford in the first place, being tricked into accepting interest rates that jumped from very low rates to high rates and forced people's mortgages to go up. I'm here because so many people are suffering without adequate health care, adequate housing, and of course, as I mentioned before, employment. So I'm here hoping to raise consciousness in our community and hoping that people will pay attention to our signs and hoping that people will start questioning who is benefiting from the current crisis and who's suffering.
Hi, I'm Natasha West, and all I can do is say that Joe Navarro said it very well for me. And I'm also a retired educator, and I'm a grandmother and a great-grandmother. And I want to have a future for my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren. And I believe the economic crisis, our ecological crisis, our crisis of social justice, our prison industrial complex that is incarcerating young people at an unprecedented rate. We have more prisoners per capita in the United States than they do in China. All of these things are connected, are interconnected with a system that is creating a third world country in this United States of America. I think we need a change. I think we need a change in our economic system. We certainly need a change in the way we consume and use up this great, beautiful earth of ours. We certainly need a change in our energy policy. But most of all, we need a change in our consciousness where the 99% begin to feel empowered.
This is why we fight, why we lie awake. This is why we fight. When we die, we will die with our arms unbound.
Hi, I'm Melissa.
I'm Aubrey.
I'm Casey.
I'm Brittany.
I'm Jackie.
I'm Melissa.
Kelsey.
Jessica.
It was a highlight reel.
Sort of like a highlight.
This is Rams volleyball.
Right.
Yeah.
It makes everybody want to be a Ram.
Makes you want to play Rams volleyball.
Right.
Makes you want to be a lady Ram.
Right. Gavilan Rams. Hope you enjoy it.
My name is Megan Owens.
And I'm Lydia Rodriguez.
Our film is called Female Assassins. Our film, we wanted to do like a fun comedy about two women that were being trained to be assassins, and they think that they're being trained to be against each other, but it's really for the same like main assassin. He's training both of us against each other, and we didn't know that. And in the end, I assassinate her. Learning to do the effects and the timing, the editing was a little difficult to do because you had to get the effect right on with the way you're shooting the gun. That was a little difficult, but it was a really good learning experience. It was really fun.
This is your first test. You call me when it's completed.
Looks like you're out of bullets.
Looks like you're out of bullets, too.
Let's go, bitch. You thought I was out of ammo.
What's that supposed to mean?
That means you die, bitch. It's complete.
Congratulations, you completed your first test. The woman that tried to kill you, do you see her car?
Yeah, I see it.
In the trunk of the car is your final test. If you survive this, your training is complete.
Okay.
The name of my movie is Fighting Over Titus. Shakespeare wrote a play called Titus Andronicus, and I intended to bring it to fruition into a movie showing slides and have Ralph, my star, narrate them. And it was taking too long, and I decided to rewrite the script. And what happened was the movie, instead of being a show for Shakespeare and Titus, it was our disagreement and fighting over Titus and how to say it. And that's pretty much what my movie is about.
I'm going to tell the story my way.
I need you to read it the way it's written.
Look, I'll read Shakespeare my way. You just shut your mouth, or else.
Or else. What?
Testing, testing. Do we have sound? This is a story of lost love, lies, and blood. So much blood. Now that's enough.